I don't think you can make an EV cool.
Huh.
Except for the Fiat 500e.
So if Mary wanted to go paragliding.
Mary doesn't want to go paragliding.
Okay, so we all stop at the same time.
Ty goes to the right.
So, all right, we all stop. So everyone's...
Oh, wait. We all pull up to the
We all
top.
Okay,
pull
so
up
we
at the
all
same
pull
time,
up.
ready?
I'm going to keep rolling through.
I look like a bug-eyed sprite. It's the meanest thing anyone has ever
You
said.
love that car. Give it a go.
Yeah.
That was good, Tommy.
Yeah.
Can you do the cup thing?
Yeah.
The...
I need a cup
The
tool.
Anna Kendrick thing.
Do you know about
Yeah,
this?
the
You know about this.
Well,
a
she
pretty-
didn't invent it, but,
Anna Kendrick didn't invent
She
it.
perfected it.
she did. She's
Yeah.
maybe...
She made it famous.
With the
Best
movie.
known.
Yeah.
My favorite fact about Case recently... We should probably start the podcast.
I don't want to start with whatever this fact is. I'd
My
rather
favorite
not.
fact about Case recently is he is deep into the Love Island spectrum.
Yeah.
And Case knows more about the Kardashians than me.
Really?
We're painting me to be something I'm not right now. Let's be clear. Wasn't my idea to watch Love Island.
Sure.
Brain cells are lost with every second of the show that
Yeah, but
passes
you like
by.
it. You ask
Yeah.
us how, like, if we've been watching it, like,
You just
almost
asked
every
us,
week.
Well, I need to
did
vent
anyone
with
else watch
someone.
it?
Here's what
need
I
to
think.
vent.
I think you say, May, I got my pho. I would like to climb into bed and watch Love Island.
I get so frustrated because everyone on this show, they're such bad orators. Just listening to them talk
Orators.
is excruciating because they're like talking about like let's like lock in type. It's oh my god
For real.
For real.
RFI.
On God, for real.
No.
I'm really trying to lock in with you.
Oh, I couldn't watch this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
no way.
It's rough.
I kind of wish you talked like that a little bit.
I am
With
so
the Southern
glad that I don't.
accent, too.
On God. For real. I'm trying to lock in with you.
Right. It's bad.
I feel like you should be on Talladega Nights right now. So, are these like the most beautiful people you've ever seen on the show?
They are attractive people, but not my style. I think a lot of them have a lot of work done. You know,
What do you
it's
think
like the LA style, like
What do you think the
Plastic
casting
injections.
is
Yeah.
for this? Like, what are they looking for? Like, we're looking
Lip
for someone.
injections.
We're looking for lip injections and no brain cells.
gratuitous
Yeah.
amounts of lip injections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting that like people who we perceive as being slightly annoying are the ones that pick up on modern phrases the quickest. Like, how come it isn't the scholars that are saying for real, for real?
They might be behind closed doors.
But
They
everything.
have no other personality.
The thing that bugs me is that everything they say when you abridge it with like and type shit, it just makes it. If somebody were to look at you and say, "Hey, I like chatting with you. I think that we've got a connection. Let's explore that." Or if someone said, I think like talking to you type shit is like I think it's cool, and so like maybe
Like,
it sucks. It sucks to listen to, and I
He is pretty good at
yeah,
it.
he's
it
pretty
bugs
good at
me.
it. You're doing this
Suspiciously
like
good
a
at
really
it.
good
maybe
impression.
they should put me on the show.
Yeah, you could
They
actually, you
shouldn't.
could become famous. You could be like Z-list famous.
Also, everything is so bright and colorful on that show. I would go blind if I was there in person.
Like, I can only handle beige tones.
They
yeah,
take
which
it.
I clearly missed the memo
Yeah.
today.
They take it to
Jen
an
wasn't
extreme.
in the group chat. This
I do.
morning.
I like earthy tones, and that is not the style of the show. This is a show partly about cars, isn't it?
It is. And now we will talk about cars partly. And I want to start out with some interesting things been circulating around the news, starting with Hertz, my favorite rental car provider. So Hertz
Not
is
sponsored.
Not sponsored. Definitely not. I paid them a lot of money, and I like to rent from Hertz because now I can. Because before I was not 25 and it was really expensive to rent from Hertz, but now I'm 25.
yeah.
The last milestone in life, by the way. You've got 18,
Yeah.
you can vote. 21, you can drink. 25, you can rent a car. And then now is just death.
You're well above 25, right?
Thanks, Mary.
Okay, just checking.
Well, 26, your brain fully forms. So
Yeah, but that's not a
There's-
fun. There's nothing you can do
there's
when that
something
happens.
exciting about that, right?
Woo!
26, I get to have to pay health insurance.
I have a
Yeah.
milestone. At 17, you're legally allowed to buy dry ice.
Really?
Yeah. So
Well, thank God
Halloween
for
gets
that.
exciting around 17.
Didn't know there was
There was a
limit on that.
Yeah, there sure was.
Anyway, Cole, Google the Hertz scanner. So did you see this in the news about what Hertz is up to?
No.
So they have this new system, and I think they're debuting it at Case's favorite place, the Atlanta airport.
Hartsfield Jackson, yo.
So you drive through this scanner.
Oh no.
And then the scanner uses AI
So
technology.
you gotta have AI.
That's right, to assess for damage.
Whoa.
So back in the day, as in last year, when you rented from Hertz, you'd rent a car, there'd be like a scratch in it. Sometimes you could report it, sometimes you couldn't, depending on how capable the people at the counter were, usually not very capable. And then when you return, it's not a big deal because everyone just assumes the car is scratched. But now the computer will know.
But did they do it before you rent the
I think
car
it's
also?
before and after.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would make
Yeah.
sense.
So now you'll just get an AI bill in the mail.
But allegedly, someone went through one of these and had a little scuff on the wheel, and Hertz, the AI bill, charged him over $400.
Whoa.
What do you think it would have been charged had it been like?
It would definitely not have been noticed.
No. No.
Yeah. So what do we think of computers scanning our rental cars? Because in theory, in one way, it might be good, right? Because then you know for sure whether or not the damage had happened.
Right.
But now you've lost all like,
I think if you can't be
Give
bothered
and
to
take.
check it, I shouldn't be bothered to pay it.
okay. Like if a person
Yeah.
shouldn't be bothered to check it, but would you make, there's an argument to be made that computers can be more accurate than a person.
So
So you want, if no one is there to physically see the damage, you shouldn't have to be able to pay
Yeah.
it. Okay, what's your take on this?
It's nice being able to get away with stuff, you know?
I agree.
yeah,
So
you need some wiggle room.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
I think this would be really nice with instances like with Turo, where people are renting out their own cars.
Ooh.
But when it comes to like these big companies like this, where they have people where it's their job to like review the cars,
yeah.
then
It's a good
you know,
point.
I think-
they don't
I think-
need more money.
No,
I think I like a little plausible deniability. I mean, like that was there.
that was there.
I think you're right.
Absolutely was there.
The problem is,
That wasn't me.
I like the plausible deniability, but the problem is sometimes a car is like this has happened in the last 2 times I've rented a car through Hertz. The car is damaged just enough when I
The
rent
right
it,
amount.
the wrong amount. So it's not so damaged where I'm like, oh, I can't take this.
Yeah.
But it's not so minor where I'm like, they probably won't notice. Like I just rented the Chevy and like the front corner of the bumper had this huge scuff in it. Like so clearly someone had driven it into a pole. And I went to tell the parking lady, she's like, don't worry about it.
Okay,
I'm
well,
like-
what else are we not worrying about?
Exactly right. See,
Also,
that-
how do you know if you're telling the right person? Like, what if
Yeah.
somebody who's just there, she's like, oh, whatever, because she doesn't know about this.
or she just doesn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's that too.
So with this, there takes the human aspect out of it altogether. It's true. But it feels a little dystopian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, so
100%.
does everything in the world right now.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not a big fan of the scanner thing. I'm with you about the plausible deniability.
Yes.
Straight up.
I think that's a good word. Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, though, it does like level the playing field, right?
Well,
like
for
if you're
sure.
if you're like better at getting out of things, like you know, like then you're probably not gonna have to pay if there's nothing like this. Whereas this kind of just like doesn't matter if you're charming or not. You're gonna have to pay if you scratch your car.
But you are charming, so you should be anti this.
Well, no, I'm just saying I can be diplomatic about it. I can be like I can say it's okay to even a playing field.
What was that story you told us the other day of how you weaseled your way into something just based on your positive personality?
What?
I thought it was something in school. Like you got away with stuff in school. It was
Weaseled
the
it.
violin.
Oh, yes.
Weaseled is a slightly aggressive
Can
term.
you tell the story, the violin story?
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. To be fair, I was in 4th grade, so this was a while ago.
So you're starting young.
I do, yes. There, you had to like pass like playing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in front of everybody on the violin, in order to like move on to the next song and like get a good grade. I had not practiced. I was feeling like I didn't need to because guess what? It was my birthday. And so I walked in there and he was like, "All right, Mare, it's your turn." I was like, "Okay." I got up there and I was like, "You know what? It is my birthday." And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "I think I should get the sticker just because it's my birthday." Because you got a sticker on this music sheet if you did a good job on the song.
And stickers are rad.
Right. And the whole class backed me up. They're all like, "Yeah, it's her birthday. Just give her the sticker." And he was like, "Oh, fine." Like, I think at that point, he was probably like a like 40-something man
He didn't
who didn't care. Like,
didn't
he was
care
like,
at
I'm not
all.
going to push this envelope.
He didn't want to hear another fourth grader play this.
But honestly, I was like really inspired by my peers supporting me.
They backed you up.
They really did. And he was like, fine. And he gave me a sticker. And then I did horribly in the concert later in the semester.
She had another birthday for the concert. She's like, listen, unless my birthday
I
again.
can't be there.
I don't think it's a stretch to imagine that he also didn't want to hear another fourth grader play Twinkle Twinkle Little
Yeah,
Star
he
on the
just wanted to give
violin.
it to me.
Exactly.
But like my lack of preparation and therein my lack of adequate discipline from my elders resulted in me poorly performing later. So
The problem is, to this day, she doesn't know how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on violin,
it's like a major problem in
Yeah.
my life.
which is like a
It's
baseline.
really held you back.
It has, yeah.
Human requirement.
Every job interview I've ever been in, they're like, okay, last thing, somebody brings in a violin.
You're like, oh no, not this again.
Roman did that, I think.
Yeah,
for you.
for sure. And I
but
didn't do well.
she said it was her birthday, so he didn't make her play.
Yeah. The key
see?
is just tell people it's your birthday.
It's always your birthday.
So
You get free desserts.
The concert must have gone really badly.
It
for
went
you.
badly. It
And
was
then
like
you learn about the consequences of your actions.
exactly. And so now I don't use my birthday as an excuse unless I want a free dessert.
Did you pass fourth grade violin?
Yeah.
It was because of that star.
It's because of that star on Twinkle Twinkle.
Very cool. Anyways, I don't know what that has to do with cars.
Well, it's just that's the charming thing. You can like kind of work your way out of it if you're good at talking, and you
But
can't
not
do
with
you
AI.
can't do it
Not-
if it's
not
this
with
sort of
AI.
Can't
thing.
charm AI.
That's
Can't-
right.
You cannot charm AI. That's true.
So the next piece of news I want to talk about is a new Nissan. It's called the Armada Nismo. And what Nissan has done is they've put some sporty touches on the Armada, but I'm not sure the look has worked as well as they think it has.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
boy.
the most slab-sided vehicle I think I've ever seen. It's incredibly tall from bottom to top.
yeah. This is reminding me of Pearl from SpongeBob.
Okay.
Like
That's
you know,
almost exactly perfect.
yeah, like she's like sporty and everything, like a cheerleader, but she's still a whale.
like a strong man.
Sure, yeah.
It
uh-huh.
kind of looks like there's like a red carpet draped over the top of something else.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Like
Yeah.
see how
the way
it's,
like the bottom of it hangs off. Yeah, it almost looks like it's.
Oh, that's just weird. The red line all the way across the bottom.
it's a strange look.
Yeah, this is what's going to save the company.
Who is this like geared towards?
Oh, okay. Good question. Let's create the persona for the Armada Nismo. So
Okay.
it's a family car.
Okay.
So let's say
Does it seat 7?
it does.
Okay.
Middle-aged person, right?
Likely.
Sure.
I'm imagining like a yoga mom.
It's too like kind of like what's the word? Boxy for a yoga mom.
Also a little too.
You think a car
audacious.
has to look like what it looks like?
A little.
So-
Kind of like a dog looks like a
So I should be driving a Yugo,
yeah.
is what you're saying.
or a bug-eyed
A
sprite.
1990s
A
Geo
bug-eyed
Metro.
sprite for sure.
I look like a bug-eyed sprite. It's the meanest thing anyone has ever
You
said.
love that car.
But they're so smiley. You
You're
know?
so smiley.
Kind of smiley and dinky. Does sum me up pretty well, actually.
I think that is like somebody who wants to be cool. It's somebody whose son is on the varsity baseball team as a freshman.
Oh.
And she wants to.
I think this is a
Hang
dad
out.
driving this.
Ooh, you think it's a dad?
I think it's a dad driving this.
That might be a good take.
I think it's
Yeah.
funny that it's squatting with a nearly empty trailer.
Well, I just think it's low. Shoddy gets low.
It's a little lower in the back.
Shoddy gets low.
Yeah, I don't feel like the Armada was designed with this as one of its core goals.
Towing?
Huh?
Oh,
Huh?
What? What's one of its core goals?
That.
Racing?
Looking cool. Yeah.
Being sporty.
Case is saying that
yeah,
this is a car
no.
that's not. Oh, the inside is not it.
wow.
The red is
The red
already
is
stained.
yeah, it's already kind of grimy.
The inside doesn't bug me as much as the body kit.
Yeah, the body gets rough.
Yeah.
This does. You know what this reminds me of? You ever see like a fat man run a marathon?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this looks like.
Yeah,
Or
but
like,
I cheer those guys on.
Yeah, he's out there. When's the last time you ran a marathon?
Yeah.
I couldn't. That's why I'm a Geo Metro. Exactly. I'm a bug-eyed sprite.
No,
Or like-
I feel like that's not the vibe. I think
You know when you see someone riding like a really high-end road bike, they've got the skin tight everything, an aerodynamic helmet, and a big gut. And it's like, I don't think the tightness of your clothes is a limiting factor for. I don't think you need the carbon
aerodynamics.
fiber wheels. You know?
I just
don't
don't
think
think. I
that's
think they
what's
missed
slowing
the
us
mark.
down.
I think they missed the mark on the design. I want to
Which
know what
is-
they were going for.
I think the Pro 4X works very well in this.
Yes.
Kind of like tough and off-roady.
I do
right?
like the Pro
Yeah,
4X.
totally.
But the on-road one, the red is not it.
No,
The red throws you
There's
off.
a lot of
the,
it.
the body kit, it looks like it's trying to wear like a skirt at the bottom. It's very, very odd. Now, is there actual performance updated to this, or is it only appearance?
Well, good question.
Close the tab here, or the picture. If you head over to tflcar.com and scroll down,
Nice.
you'll actually see. So just scroll down in the story. It's got some like slight suspension. Oh, up. There you go. So it's got 1.3 inches overall. It sits a bit lower than its siblings. And if you scroll down,
Yeah,
Cole, you'll see
that's
it's got
the-
colors.
Another
well,
35 horsepower.
So they juiced up to 3.5, 35 horsepower more.
35
Okay.
horsepower is decent.
That's pretty good, actually. So it's actually a little quicker.
it just seems
Well,
like
the
it's-
horsepower might have to make up for all of the stuff.
Yeah, it's veil that it's
Torque
wearing.
is the same as before.
Thanks, Mary.
Twerk.
Torque.
Work.
I bet that thing can twerk. She got an ass on her.
It's got a dumpy.
It's got a
It
dull
is,
face.
it is kind of dumb.
So we like the Armada. We're not on the Nismo thing.
No,
Yep.
I think this
Purely
is just,
from a fashion
it's
standpoint.
the wrong vehicle for
Well, I
an
think
Nismo.
fashion is all it is, because I don't think people are going to take that to a track.
I don't think it's going to see a lot of track use.
No.
No.
No, I
So-
think that's more of a
I
marketing
think
thing.
people will drive this and trailer their car to the track.
Which would that look cooler with the Z behind it?
If it's like color matched. I
You don't
mean,
think so, huh?
I think a certain dad out there is gonna love that day.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think a Pro 4X with a Z on a trailer behind it looks better.
So you want an off-road car with the on-road thing behind it?
I also just, if the red accent wasn't there, I don't think it would be quite as jarring.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
That
went
red
too far
accent
with
on the,
the red.
It's a
bottom
lot of
is it's just
Like it
not
would still be a strange shape for a body kit, but it's the accentuated color along the bottom that kind of
It,
makes
like,
it look
goes
like it's
like
wearing a
this,
skirt.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a little squid.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
So we determined that if I was a car, I would be a bug-eyed Sprite. If Case was a car, what would he be?
That's a good question. Based on looks alone,
Yes.
C4.
C4 Corvette.
Oh wow.
Nice. I appreciate that.
Wow.
Not most people wouldn't take that as a compliment, but I do.
Yeah.
I think you'd be like a Mustang Shelby GT500.
Thunderbird.
He seems
It's going the wrong way over here.
He seems upset
I don't
about
like the
this.
Mustang comment.
I think you look like a Toyota 4Runner.
Ooh. Well, Case is upset with you guys now.
I'm
How dare
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm trying to rage bait.
for
No,
you.
I think C4. So I'm a bug-eyed Sprite. He's a C4 Corvette.
For sure, for sure.
What's Mary? Classy.
RAV4?
Okay. Mary's a rev.
Here's RAV4 or a Leaf.
Oh, that hurts.
He's a Corvette. You're a Nissan Leaf. Please elaborate, would you?
That hurts my feelings.
No, I could actually see you more like a Maverick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like
I'll
you're
take
you're
that.
versatile, but you're
The problem is the
sure. Yeah.
That's how
Whatever
I'm
that
unwilling to
described.
break the rules is what. The problem is like you hear Maverick, the Maverick name and the Maverick truck don't match up.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
No, they do not.
It's not like pointy enough.
like a
was
fighter
gonna say-
jet.
Yeah, kind of like, for example.
So when you think Maverick, you think fighter jet. When I think Maverick, I think like cowboy.
Oh.
You know, like a little twangy, Wild
Maverick.
West.
Well, I think a
Maverick
Interesting.
I think a Maverick is
A horse.
a calf that can't be branded.
is really.
Yeah, it like escapes. It jukes being branded, if you will,
and I will.
And I will.
I will.
if you must.
I didn't know that.
I don't know
pre-
that either.
Can you look this up, Cole?
What is a
What-
Maverick?
what is
I
a
think
Maverick?
that's
Is
what it
Case a lying liar right now, or is he
If-
bestowing some knowledge?
Hey, at worst case scenario, I'm uneducated.
Usually from a cattle that does not carry a brand.
Dang.
Wow.
A feral bull in Sierra Nevada, Venezuela.
Wow.
When I think of Mary, I don't think of a feral bull.
That's fair.
Yeah, but we're talking about cars.
That is still a nice compliment.
Is
Though.
it that I'm not a feral bull?
Yeah.
Mary,
Okay.
the feral bull.
Yeah, I don't think of myself in that way either.
And
so.
Jen, I think you're something sporty but practical.
Like a BMW.
Like a
Yeah,
BMW.
I feel like you and your BMW mesh pretty well.
yeah, you do.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Someone once told me that I was like an old 70s SL. Like a white SL
Yeah,
with
that'd be
gold
cool.
gold badging.
Unreliable and slow.
Yeah. Sounds like it. I was like, thanks, I guess.
That is a classy choice. I do like that.
I do like that.
Yeah. I think you're more sleek and modern.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Case is strong and square. Mary's a
Thanks.
feral bull. Jen is sleek and modern, and I'm dinky but happy.
I'm glad we sorted that out.
Yeah.
So we all found our cars in the end.
Yeah,
you
except for
know?
I'm a bull.
Feral.
Yeah, you're not even a car.
How did that happen?
Your car's not even.
Three of us are a car. Mary's a
You
feral
really
animal.
form of
do you actually
transportation.
think of me as like a truck? You think if
No,
I
I
was
do not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do not. But I could see you something like a lifestyle truck, like a Maverick, right? You've got a little bit of adventure in you,
Yeah,
but you're
sure.
also a rule follower and want to get good fuel efficiency.
Yeah, that's so true.
Uh-huh.
I want the
So
option to tow 4,000 pounds.
You,
Not
You
gonna
want the
lie.
option.
Stuff you could put in the bed.
Think of the stuff.
Mary's like, I want the
All the
option to
stuff.
be mildly useful in life, but not that useful.
I'd say generally
That
people
is-
describe me as mildly useful.
That is Mary. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say.
Unlike Hayes, which is very not useful. But looks
But
cool.
stylish.
But looks cool.
So cool.
Glad I could be part of the team, guys.
If we had a competition right now, who could run a mile the fastest?
Yeah, that's
me for sure.
I'm going to
plausible.
say
I'm
I'm
not a good
last.
Why?
now.
I think you're
She's
Well,
pregnant for
pregnant.
one. Oh, pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Carrying another human.
Yeah,
So Mary could run the fastest. Case could pick up the heaviest thing.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And you are likely to have the baby the first.
I think I.
If we had a
yeah.
competition, which of the four of us could
I think I will probably beat you guys on that
could
one.
make a
Yeah.
human the fastest?
You're definitely closer to the
Tommy
finish
could
line.
walk the furthest playing an instrument.
And I
Yeah.
could walk.
That's 100% true.
We should have a competition on who could play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the most instruments. Guess who would win that?
Me, Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
But
As long
not
as
on the
it's her
day it's her
birthday.
birthday. Yeah. So next bit of news: new Mercedes is called the Mercedes. Jen's gonna like this. GTX-X.
No.
Or-
Stop.
Dos Equis.
Why?
Dos Equis.
They just threw another X at it?
XX.
There it is.
Well, they did that back in the day with the EQ Dos Equis.
I don't know if we have a story on
Concept.
it, Colt, but it's the Mercedes GTX-X, which is one better than the Corvette 01X we looked at because this
In
one,
terms of what?
it's got another X,
Okay.
double the X.
Yeah.
How many X's is too many X's?
3 is.
The max.
Well,
So the GTX-XX,
Anyway.
but put 4.
That's a problem.
You're good.
That's so
No.
many. The interesting thing, though, is there is a prototype of this that's driving around and that's been spied, and it doesn't really look like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure I like the way that looks.
no, the front end is odd. It
kind of
looks
looks like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, that
Like a
or some
Hoover.
sort of whale in the
Kind of
front.
looks like a Taycan.
It does look like a
I
wheel.
was thinking Porsche earlier. Yeah.
Not
Is it
really in
electric?
like the front end,
Yes.
but
the back end.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like the greenhouse.
Here's my question. This thing is 1,340 horsepower, all electric. Why is the front end still entirely made out of grill?
Yeah.
I hear it's 1,341.
Okay. Well, case is, you're right. I think I
And I
jipped it
think
on 8
they're
horsepower.
axial flux motors, they say.
That was 2 X's. Be careful. Axial
Maybe
flux.
that's where the X's come from.
oh, maybe.
Scroll down though, there, Cole. Let's see if we can see the back of this thing, because the back
Oh my
That's
God.
it.
Oh, it's a
That's
Jaguar.
sweet.
is pretty cool.
Where's the back windshield?
Doesn't need one.
Doesn't need one.
This is the new trend in cars: no back windows. You hear about this?
No.
The Polestar now. The Polestar. I think it's the 4. Doesn't have a back window.
Yeah,
Isn't
and
that like a
also
safety
I hate
hazard?
The
it.
Honda,
I hate
the
it so
Honda
much.
concept,
Boom.
whatever that's
On God,
called.
I'm so for real now.
For real, for real?
Like, why is there no back window?
Because that's the new trend.
No, but isn't that a safety hazard? That feels like it's dangerous.
They thought of that. They put a camera on the.
Okay,
rearview
what if the
mirror.
camera
What if
goes
the
out?
camera goes out?
What if there's dirt on your camera and now you can't see?
Guys, it's got 1,300 horsepower. What do you need
I'm
to see
just-
behind you?
Well, what about your Polestar?
the police? That's
Listen,
Oh, hey, it says charging. That's cool.
Mary is right. This trend of removing rear windows is one of the
It's a
dumbest
little- it's a
trends.
that
little
is
iffy.
horrible.
But then again, think about something like the Cybertruck, which might as well not have a rear window because it's 6 inches tall.
So would you rather have a useless rear window or no rear window?
I'd rather-
Welcome to 2025, everybody.
I would rather have a rear window.
visibility is gone.
I would rather have one.
That you can see out of.
Like, even if it's just a little.
Because like I think their argument is that this thing is back is like so sloped, right? That you wouldn't see much out of a rear
Why don't
window.
they just make it glass?
Supposedly, well, it seems like maybe a hot
Heavier?
take. I don't really think it needs a back
Glass
window.
might be heavier.
He
What'd you
doesn't-
say?
This sounds like this is going to be a hot take, but I don't really think it needs a back window. You know?
I just don't
'Cause
understand.
if you got a bunch of stuff in your trunk, or if you're driving down a dirt road and your back window is covered in dust and dirt, then you can't see out
What
of it
about
anyway.
if your camera's covered in dust and dirt? That's a bigger problem because it's your only option.
Well, yeah, but if the whole window's covered in dust and dirt, you can't see out of
What
it
do you
anyway.
call a wiper?
Some cars don't have wipers on their back windows.
This is true.
Actually, a lot of cars.
Most cars don't.
Yeah.
Well-
Usually it's just like SUVs.
Look up the Polestar 4 rear end, Cole.
Yeah.
This is a car you can currently buy that does not have a rear window.
I just don't like that.
I agree. But to Case's point, some of these rear windows now are so useless.
Yeah, I think it's whatever.
So this car, same thing.
I hate it. I hate
Yeah,
it so
that
much.
looks awkward.
Mary's mind is blown right now.
I hate it so much.
What? How
That
is
is-
this allowed?
See, the Cybertruck is way worse because the Cybertruck doesn't have a digital rear view mirror.
Yeah,
and
that's
not
right.
only is the rear window like 6 inches tall, but it's covered by the tonneau cover.
This one's weird.
Yeah.
Though. If you look at the back of the
So-
Polestar 4, it looks like there's a space for a rear window. Like there's like a little carve out.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But no rear window.
Yeah, it looks awkward on that.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the camera that they have like mounted on the back is what you see in your rear view?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And
terrible.
it does have a squirter.
I hate it so
Try
much.
again.
It has a squirter on the camera.
Okay, so you can
Washer
clean
fluid.
it. You can
Thank you.
A washer. Yeah.
To this day, I don't know what the stuff that goes in the squirty stuff is called.
washer fluid.
Washer
Thank you.
fluid.
Yeah.
Yep.
That will not stick in
Different
my head.
from blinker fluid.
But so we are all in agreement except for Case that the no rear window is dumb.
I like genuinely don't understand how that passes like a safety inspection is my thing.
So
Apparently,
working
there's
in
no rear window safety inspection.
working in service for as long as I did, there were tons of issues where the cameras stopped functioning. Whether that was
But that's Tesla.
yeah, but whether that was software based or hardware based, sometimes the rear camera just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't see how that is only for Tesla. I would think that that's just kind of a technology thing.
You would think that we'd have the foresight that would happen just naturally.
and whether or not like it was an actual hardware or software issue, there's still the issue of like dust or snow buildup or anything, and now that just completely takes away
I
all
think that same
visibility.
thing can happen. I think that same thing with dust and snow and everything can happen on back glass too.
Yeah, but it's not to the point where it's just opaque, where it's just
can be.
dark. Like it's not going to get that bad over time.
My
it
issue
can
with
be,
this,
but it takes a lot.
so
It
two,
doesn't take a lot to cover a camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you have stuff in your trunk, like if you have enough stuff in your trunk, you can't see out of it anyway,
But this is like an
and the
everyday
camera wouldn't
thing.
be affected by that.
That's a good point.
to Case's credit, I did see this car in person, this Polestar 4. And when you look at the sloping roofline and the headrest in the back, if it did have a window, I'm not sure you would be able to see anything out of it anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then
I think
don't
that's a
design it
fair
that
point.
way.
Yeah, but like for this design, that's a fair point. But it just doesn't make sense to me why you wouldn't want to like physically see what's behind you, not just relying on like a camera pointing.
Well, this is also a performance car. Think about a lot of mid-engine supercars. Like, what do you see out of the rear view mirror on anything that's mid-engine or rear engine?
Yeah, I
Not
don't
much.
see very much out of the C8.
Anyway,
Yeah, but that's a very specific group of people who are driving mid-engine.
I think
sports
this will
cars.
be too, because it's got 1,300 horsepower and it does 223 miles an hour thanks to its axial flux
I
motors.
think it's 225.
You're not talking about the
I think
Polestar,
it's
right?
223.
Case?
no, not
No, not the
I'm like,
Polestar.
wait
I
a
was like, that's
minute.
kind of crazy.
the Mercedes that kicked
the
off.
Dos Equis.
The Dos Equis.
Mercedes has been doing this a lot, by the way. This double X thing. I just drove the EQXX a couple of years back.
EQ Dos
Why?
Equis.
EQXX.
I don't like
Two
it.
X's. It's cooler.
This is like the Zorro problem.
Yeah, that is a
So
Zorro
nice
problem.
they X'd it twice.
It's so good they X'd it twice. I don't have this rear
So
window
nice.
thing.
Rhymes.
I'm not as upset as Mary and Jen about this. The one thing I do hate though are the camera mirrors for the
Yeah,
side
camera
mirrors.
mirrors is side mirrors. Camera side mirrors for me is too much.
Yeah.
but
So-
rear window whatever.
So in Europe and like in Asia now, Mary, you can get, instead of having side view mirrors, you get little cameras that then display on the screen.
yeah, that to me.
No.
is
And then
too
when
much.
that goes out, now you have nothing. See, I don't like it. Give me actual glass.
Yeah, then you're literally just driving like a 2-ton metal box with no
you
idea
can't
what's
see
that you
outside
can't
of
see
it.
out of.
Yeah.
This is a good segment to Mary's next point. Segway. Thank you.
Eh?
Did you know the inventor of the Segway died on a Segway?
No.
What?
Stop it.
Kind of
Did you know that?
poetic.
He wrote. Did you know this?
Oh, the inventor.
Yep.
Oh.
Wrote it off a cliff.
On purpose?
Nope. it
That's
was an
kind of
accident.
like the Bronco statue guy.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
the
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
at the Denver airport fell on him.
Yep.
There is
Terrible.
a big, tall, blue horse at
With
the Denver
red
airport,
eyes.
and it has
Yeah.
red eyes.
Has it
Not
grown
very
on you at all?
welcoming.
I do think like he's a little endearing when you
It's
see
not
him
very
enough.
welcoming at when
No.
you are coming
the
out
one
of
with
DIA.
the lightning in the background. That photo
is
is
just
incredible.
Yeah, so that the person who
Ridiculous.
designed and like kind of put that up, that fell on him and
died.
killed him.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they named him Blucifer.
His real name is Blucifer.
Yeah.
Not
So,
great.
Okay.
It's kinda
Anyways,
But our next
Speaking of
segue,
segue.
yes, thank you, Mary, is called Mary's Hot Takes. And
Oh.
one of Mary's hot takes surrounding, kind of related to the GTXX, has to do with EVs and making them cool.
Oh, yeah. It's not really about making them cool. I just think EVs have reached their limit. I don't think you can make an EV cool.
Except for the Fiat 500e.
And
Pace's personal car.
let me kind of explain. I like EVs. I think like for commuting in like a small place, it's a great idea because it saves you gas. It kind of is environmentally conscious, kind of. I mean, it's
Sorry, debatable.
yeah,
Yep.
You could
debatable. But yeah, I think the biggest like benefit is that it like saves you gas and that you can just like plug it in at night.
And maintenance.
And maintenance, but they degrade really fast. I don't think that they don't like feel fun. And I know that's not always like that's not a factor for a lot of people. Like, I don't need my car to feel fun. I just need to get to me from A to B. But it's like it doesn't feel like you're driving a car. It feels like you're driving a computer.
Yeah.
And that's not awesome. It also doesn't feel like it'll protect you very well for some reason. That could just be in my brain.
well, I mean, there are some EVs like Teslas have incredible crash test ratings.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Massive crumple zones, which
Yeah.
is sweet.
Right. So,
The protection thing, I think, is in your head. And I
Yeah.
think that the longevity thing is also very debated. I think that they are lasting better.
She is driving a Leaf.
Well,
Yeah, which will
but
degrade
let's
fast.
potentially, yeah. Let's talk about the cool. So like the fun to drive thing is an interesting topic, right? Because what makes an EV less fun to drive than a gas car?
The sound.
The sound. So you're missing sound.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden you could put the sound back in an EV, would
It's
it
not
be
real
fun?
sound.
It's fake.
They do that. You can do that.
Yes, like
Yeah.
in the Ioniq
Yeah.
5.
weird.
It's really weird. Doesn't and like honestly, it's not just the sound. It's also like the sensory feel. Like you can feel an engine rumbling.
Okay. The problem is though, the argument to be made against that is if you look at like fun, motorcycles and roller coasters are pretty fun. Case loves roller coasters because they're
That's not
fast.
what that was about.
And EVs are inherently very, very, very fast.
That's
Yes.
true.
So there's an argument to be made that they are fun because they're so fast.
That's
There's
a
no
good point.
drama around the fastness. There's not like a sense of occasion around it because it just does it.
The
Doesn't
first
feel like a
couple
build-up.
times you do it,
There's no
you will
build-up.
giggle, of course. But then after that, it's like, yeah, all right.
It's just so like it's too surgical, too like neat.
Clean.
There's no
Yeah.
there's no drama. There's no explosion. There's
Right.
There's no rising action.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just
So
like
but-
does it all of a sudden.
It's
and
just
you're-
expected.
It just feels like someone grabbed your seat and jerked you backward. It's like, oh,
Which
thanks.
can be
That's-
exhilarating.
yeah.
In the Rivian, that's terrifying when you go 0 to whatever in the
We
Rivian.
did that in the Hummer EV too.
Yeah. What is that called? The Stomper?
WTF.
Got it.
Stomper, closest stomper. I would make an argument that we are getting so good now with these faux experiences. I think that it's we're almost to the point where you could make it pretty convincing.
Okay, but without advocating for the devil, do you actually enjoy that experience more than being in a real car?
Real car, Mary.
A car with an engine?
A nice car.
My argument here, and this is genuinely what I feel, is that most modern cars are so toned down and computerized right now that I think an Ioniq 5 with the shifting is just as fun as pretty much every modern car.
Even with
think
the
there's-
knowledge that it doesn't have an engine.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of nuance to what you're saying, though, because I don't think that you're saying, well, in fact, I feel like I know this for a fact. You're not saying that EVs are as fun as any car on the planet. You're saying that a lot of modern cars are boring enough
Yes.
that it being electric isn't really the limiting factor.
Right. Yeah.
That was
That's
well
fair.
summarized.
That's exactly
fair.
right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think an EV is going to be as exciting as an old carbureted big block Corvette, right?
Right.
Like that is an
Sure.
experience. But when you look at modern cars today, there's so many emissions and sound and computer requirements that you need into a car that it almost feels like some modern cars are just trying to be an EV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree that I think for the average person that's shopping between a CRV and something electric, you're not shopping for a 911. You might as well get the EV.
The more like a cost-efficient option.
The vehicle that most people are shopping to buy is not any more exciting than an EV.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's fair.
But
That's
I'm
a
going
really
to
good
take
point.
it, and this is where I'm going to lose you for sure. I'm going to take it a step further. And I think that Ioniq 5 with the fake shifting and the fake sound is more exciting and engaging than even some performance cars. Like
Why?
if you drive a new Golf R, a new Civic Type R to some extent, I think that it's faster, it's louder, and it's more interactive than those.
It's not more interactive than a Type R with a manual.
But it is a manual because you have to shift it. And when you put it in the shifting mode, it's louder than a Type R. It sounds better than a Type R.
How many pedals does it have?
It's got 2 pedals. I'll give you that. But I think that it's such a bold experience in that for most people, like if I took my wife for a ride in the Type R, she'd be like, yeah, it's another car. If I took her for a ride in an Ioniq 5 and then went full throttle and did the shifting thing with the crazy sci-fi noises, she'd be like, wow, that was really interesting. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I think that we are getting to a point where even though it's fake,
But that's a gimmick.
I was gonna say, is that a real experience though? Like, you're not really experiencing a car; you're experiencing a computer.
but that's what modern cars are.
It is. I will give you that the Ioniq shifting and the noise is unique.
Mm-hmm.
So you might, as a passenger especially, remember that more than going for a ride in a Civic Type R if you're not really a car person. But as a person behind the wheel in the long term, day to day, the Civic's more engaging. You've got several more controls to operate.
Arguably, I just think
3 pedals and a shifter.
there are so many cases, guys, where we're being fooled by computers on a daily basis and we're totally fine with it. But then people are weird about their cars. Like if you watch football, right? 90% of what you're listening to football is all fake.
What do you mean?
All of the audience interaction and the clapping, that's all dubbed in afterwards. That's not actually happening. They all have it pre-recorded, right? And they're all same thing with
It's big football.
yeah, majority of
It's fooling
sports
us,
you're
man.
listening to, right? And like people are cool with that, right?
You mean like when you're watching it on the TV?
Yeah, exactly. Right? So a lot of like things that we interact with on a regular basis is being improved or changed or like even like gasoline car sounds. Majority of new cars now are actually pipe in fake sounds through the engine to make it sound better.
But you
That's
can
true.
also go to a football game. And
Sure.
Be there.
Right. I agree, but that's yeah. I know, but I'm just trying to like come up with examples of like ways computers are enhancing our lives and most people are totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're already using
agree.
computers to enhance an engine sound for a normal car, why not just have it enhance it all the way?
I agree to the extent that if you're shopping between a Tahoe and a Rivian R1S, like you buying the Tahoe because it's got a gas motor and you're such a purist, maybe doesn't really make sense. But I still think that objectively, a Civic Type R is more engaging than the Ioniq Type N.
What do you think, Jim?
Unless you're on a drag strip.
Because you,
I think
it's more
anything
engaging. It might not be
with a
faster.
manual is certainly more engaging.
yeah, it
From just a
literally
physical
is. Because you have to,
I mean, even when we
Engage with
took
more.
that Civic Si, like that's not the fastest car in the world. It's not even very loud or anything, but you still feel so much more connected to the car. And not that every consumer is looking for that type of driving experience, a connection to the car they're driving. But for those that are, I think driving any type of manual is hard to beat with even, the Ioniq 5.
As a car enthusiast.
As a car enthusiast.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, that's not across the board for everybody. That's just for car enthusiasts. For me, I don't really care about purses. I just need something small to hold my keys in my wallet. But for someone who is into fashion and is into purses, they can make a million examples of why a certain purse with the finest leather and all these zippers and style, things is way better than the $15 purse I'll pick up at TJ Maxx. But that's not everybody, but that's just for them. So I think I understand where you're coming from, but I also understand where you guys are coming from, and that EVs, I think, have just kind of topped out at being cool, but there is a certain sense that they're just they are what they are now. And I don't know, I think we just have to accept them.
So do you think that like EVs will eventually just become the norm? Like people will just stop driving engine prioritized cars?
I don't know.
Internal combustion.
Yeah,
There it is.
engine prioritized. I like that even more. I think that's what people are trying to go for, Like I heard France is trying to go all EV or no one's allowed to drive.
Well, Europe has a lot more intense.
Yeah,
like,
European
emissions.
they have standards where they're trying to go all EV by, it was 2025 and then 2030, now it's like 2035 because it's moving a lot
because
slower.
they know that it's ridiculous.
My point, and I know I'm going to get some pushback on this from everybody in the comments, which is fine. And then there's a whole microwave turkey thing, and I get it. But the thing is like whenever there's been a major change in the automotive space, there's always been people saying that will never be cool. When electronic fuel injection came out, my dad would tell me, like, people would be like, you're never going to have a cool fuel injected car. Like it's boring, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have the pops and the bangs of a carburetor. You can't go from a single barrel to a double barrel. It's all a computerized thing, right? And the same thing with hybrids. When hybrids came out in the Prius, it was like, oh god, this is never going to be cool. And then Porsche did like the 918 and the LaFerrari, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure that, like, right now EVs are not cool. I agree to a large extent, and I think a lot of it is because of the experience. But I think as humans, we are very susceptible to saying that whatever is the change is not going to be as cool as whatever it is now. Even when we went from horse to car, I'm sure there were people saying the car will never be interesting, right? Because a horse is this living thing that needs to be fed, right? Mm-hmm. And the cars at the time were not very good, right? And I think that now we think EVs are good, but I think give it a couple of years and we'll be able to do some interesting things with them.
That's true.
Right?
Do you think we're trying too hard to make them look cooler?
No, I think we're not trying hard enough. Did you see that EQXX thing we just showed? Why does it have a grill? Think about, like, there's so many things you can do with an EV.
You don't think there's stuff in there that needs cooling?
Well, there
it's
is,
got
but
a 800 volt architecture and
you're telling me you need
1,300 horsepower?
Entire width of the front of the car?
It might.
I don't buy it. And even like these crossovers now, right, that have no grills on the front of them, right? Why are we making every EV crossover look like a worse version of its gas counterpart?
Yeah.
Right? Think about all of the things we could be doing, because you don't need a drive shaft running down the car. Mm-hmm. You don't need a huge front end.
Yeah.
Because
why are there so many electric cars with a transmission tunnel?
yeah, why do they look like...
Yeah, that's true.
There are all these like lumpy crossovers that look exactly the same but worse in the gasoline versions. Why do you need a hood? A car doesn't need a hood.
Well, you just want them to look like semis from Germany?
Well, no, I'm saying, but like, there's crazy things that we could be doing with design. Why not put a door in the front of a car?
Well, it's kind of what you're just saying, though.
Isetta.
But it's what, like, people wouldn't buy those. I think what's happening right now is that, like, they're kind of doing this slow transition into, like, they're kind of like, what's the word? Like Trojan horsing.
Trojan horsing.
Like the idea of, like, a new style. Right? Like, I'm not saying that the first car, like, resembled a horse.
There was actually a company in the turn of the century that designed a horse head to put on the front of your car.
See, that's kind of like
that's
easing
terrible.
people
Isn't
in.
that crazy?
It's like people like, you have to be kind of eased into change. And I agree with you that, like, there is a big part in every, like, historical change, whether it's in the automotive space or any change, really, right? Like when we went from paintings to cameras, or when we went from, like, big thick computers to, like, thinner ones, or like, like, there's always, like, pushback, and people are gonna be like, that's not gonna work. There's no way that's gonna work. But I think we're in the point right now where designers aren't taking those big leaps because people are still kind of averse to the idea as a whole concept.
Well, and I do agree with you guys that, like, right now what's happening is we're kind of in this weird point where the cars are just very sterile. Right, they're just very
like
clinical.
surgical.
And we need to find a way to, like, bring interest back into them. And I'm not smart enough to know what that is. Maybe you do put an actual manual transmission in an EV, right? Like, you could do it. Tesla
that
did.
would be weird though.
Tesla did it with
There's
the
no noise.
Yeah, there is.
Well,
no
it's kind
noise.
of like, do you make it more like an internal combustion car, or do you make it less and less and less like an internal combustion car until people are intrigued by it?
Yeah, Mary brings up a point. Do you try to make it more like the horse, or do you, like, when they put the horse head on the front of the car, or do you make it something totally different and weird?
Right, because like I said, like, they're making just lesser versions of their counterparts, whereas they could be just making something completely different.
Like the Yang Wang U9
The Yang Wang.
that can float.
But people wouldn't like it. Like when you went to Korea and you saw, like, all those different, like, Hyundais, like, those weren't cool. Those didn't look cool.
Wow.
But they were different.
Mary's coming out of a...
I'm serious.
What was the
Do you know
Hyundai
what I'm talking
called?
about? The Inster? It's like
yeah, you didn't like that thing?
No, it looked ridiculous. It
was
looked
the
like it came
Hyundai
right out of a
called,
kid's video game.
What was the cool Hyundai
The
concept?
Grandeur?
I don't think so. The retro sporty.
Insta.
Oh, the N74. Let's see
Yeah.
if Mary thinks this is cool. Look up the Hyundai N74. Uh-huh. Pull it on up. Let's see if Mary... Is this Mary approved? Does that look cool?
That's a DeLorean in 2025.
Ooh, nice. Good pull. I don't think that's the worst version of something different that I've seen.
Here we go.
There we go.
But also, my opinion isn't the end all be all. It's not like
Mary,
what
yes.
I.
Mary's opinion is the final that's going to be made.
Don't put that in my head, case. Yeah, I don't know. I just think.
Okay, now look up the Hyundai Instaroid.
Yeah, the Instaroid was a little
The
too
steroid.
much. You did a good job staying objective about it.
Thank you. I actually think it kind of looks cool.
Really?
Yeah, let's see what Case thinks.
Sure.
You think it looks kind of cool?
Yeah, it's like a sporty version of. I really like the Honda E.
Oh yeah,
The-
the little retro
This
electric
thing
Honda.
looks like
Yeah,
it came
yeah.
out of a cereal box as a toy.
Yes.
Well,
Correct.
and I think that's what they were going for, right? Is like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be very Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
and
Have you seen that New York company that's trying to make an electric luxury car? Forget the name of it, but it's a very retro-looking electric luxury car.
no, I haven't. Oh, I have. That looks like a Bugatti.
It starts with a D.
Yes, I know. There's like this company that's doing like 1930s looking cars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
It looks pretty sweet.
I think that's kind of like in the UK, their taxis look like older type cars.
Well, yeah, the London cabs, they
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
evolved.
Cole,
right.
if we pull up New York
New York company starts with D.
New York electric luxury
see how good
EV,
Cole is.
Uh-huh.
it'll pop up. Let's see.
The EQS. That's it, the Mercedes.
Yeah, totally
No.
from there.
Well,
Let's see.
if Case can think about it,
Yeah, I think that guy's picture is gonna pulled up.
might be talking about it. This is from the Electric Viking. Great YouTube channel name.
That is cool.
That is good.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It starts with a D.
I think you're right, though, Tommy. And also, I am famously averse to change. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's it. isn't it?
Oh, wow.
See, that's cool.
I just think
Oh,
there's a
I
lot
love
more
that.
we could be doing with EVs to make them more interesting
Yes.
than what we're doing now.
Do you think maybe
Wow,
part
wow,
of it
wow,
is just
wow.
going back to a retro style and making
Maybe.
it an
It's
EV?
the hashtag steampunk. Totally.
Sure.
Girlfriend.
Does that have to be a hashtag?
Did I do that right?
Can we go ahead
FR.
and unhashtag that?
Okay,
Retroactively?
my last section of rage bait. Here's my argument. There are no bad cars for sale right now. Because what makes a bad car, right? Fundamentally, there are boring cars.
By 1970s standards, you're correct.
This is my point, right? There are boring cars, and there are cars that are too expensive, and there are cars that don't look very good, and there are cars that have, design questions that you maybe don't like. But when it comes to a car that gets you down the road, I don't think there's a single bad car for sale right now.
I think that's been true for a while.
Yeah, I mean, they all have common safety features like airbags
Right.
and ABS.
Like, I think this job would have been very interesting in the 1980s.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Where you get a brand new car that's already broken
And it would
leaking
break
oil.
down 3
Yeah,
times in
yeah.
the first week, right?
Not to say that we've never broken down in a brand new car.
Yeah,
when,
it
when
happens.
we first got the Hummer EV.
Yeah, and it broke down,
sure.
right? That was not good. But
But then they fixed it.
And the other thing too is, even though Mary is shaking her head violently, all new cars come with such a big guarantee that this car is going to work through a warranty that like you can't have a bad car now, right? Or you get sued out of existence.
Yeah, I mean, there are still cases of lemon law,
Sure.
that go around, but I don't think it's as frequent as it once was.
Right.
I think to your point, it's not to say that there isn't a single car built that's a lemon, because that still happens and
Oh, for
probably,
sure.
probably always will.
100%.
But picking like a specific model of car to say every single one of them is really bad, that doesn't exist.
I think that's interesting.
Wow.
Or like back in the day, you'd have a car that would rust out in a year.
Yeah,
So when do you think we hit that transition?
That's probably like in the 90s.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, actually, the Chevy Aveo, 2010. That was a bad car. I think
just
like
bad.
the whole era of like econo boxes were pretty bad. Like the,
Yeah.
the very cheapest cars that were just meant
The
to be cheap.
Vega.
The Vega, Chevette, Citation, mostly
Citation.
Chevrolets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take.
It doesn't seem to be that hot.
I know. I thought I'd get some pushback from that.
No, I
You
I have
probably
a
will in
question.
the comments.
What?
Where does the phrase lemon come from? Why if it's kind of a dud car, why is it called a lemon?
Huh.
Wow, that is a good
I think
question.
there is a story behind that.
Like
There must
why?
be.
Because anything that's bad is a lemon.
Yeah. But it's kind of like an undercover bad
Cole?
thing.
Undercover
Cole,
bad.
help.
Yeah.
Where does the
Lemon
phrase
car.
lemon for cars come from? Okay. British American 20th century words you describe something of low quality or bad purchase. Oh yeah, Volkswagen did have an ad. Do you remember they had a
Lemon
very
laws.
famous ad?
Yeah, it said lemon, and it was a.
It was a Beetle and it said
yeah.
lemon. I mean, I think that calling someone a lemon or something a lemon came before cars.
Yeah, it did say that. It said in like automotive terms, it means a
Yeah.
vehicle that turns out to have several manufacturing issues affecting its safety value or utility.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've always wondered that.
And why was it not like an apple?
Yeah,
Or a lime.
Or meatloaf, you know.
It says
Oh,
it
yeah.
can be traced back to the
Meatloaf.
beginning of the 20th century.
I've never
as
had a
an
good
American
meatloaf.
slang term. To hand someone a lemon was
Yeah.
to pass off a substandard article. It's a good one.
There's also the Edsel, which famously looks like an Oldsmobile sucking a lemon. Did you hear that? Look up the front of an Edsel, Cole.
Yeah.
One of the magazines described this car. This was supposed to be the world-changing car of within the Ford lineup, and
It's with a D, yeah.
EVSEL famously became one of the biggest car failures of all time.
A D.
D as in dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
Cole's
yeah.
never heard of the Edsel.
I hadn't either. He did a good job with the T, honestly. Oh.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I see it. I
So-
see
Yeah,
that.
the front end was also compared to something else.
Yeah, that's my thought was.
It wasn't the most masculine front end, we'll say.
Oh no, Mary.
Oh, boy.
Mary goes,
Wow.
oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Nike.
And speaking of Mary doing weird things, the next segment, Mary wants
That
to
was a
learn
hell
how
of
to
a
ride
segue.
a motorcycle.
I do.
Good plan.
I do want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I don't want to take it on the highway. I don't want to take it on any like actual roads where cars are, but I do
Dirt
want to take
bike.
it on like a closed course or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
off-roading. I think that'd be cool.
Now, I bring this up because Mary's boyfriend does not want Mary to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
How do we convince Mary's boyfriend? Yeah.
Apparently,
Dexter goes,
Dexter goes.
no.
Not really. I can do whatever.
How
I
do you
want.
convince
nice.
how do you convince somebody who is inherently pretty risky, your boyfriend,
Yeah, more or less.
live life on the
Because
edge?
I'm probably more likely to follow the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Dexter draws a line at no motorcycles.
I think it's more of a safety thing. I don't think you can really convince somebody like, "Hey, I'm gonna be fine, guaranteed."
Yeah.
Like, that's where it comes from. I think it's more of just a concern for my safety.
I
than
would
anything
say
else.
on an 80cc dirt bike at our buddy Andy Smith's dirt flat track in first gear,
And I'm taught how to fall.
wearing full
Yes.
Yeah.
wearing
That's
full
true.
riding gear,
Yeah, I'd be fine.
you're pretty close to guaranteeing you're going to be fine.
I think
Right.
what's going on in Dexter's mind
Dexter was
is,
fine with that, by the way.
is
Oh, good.
flashing unnecessary risk.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Yes, I think you're right.
And he loves her very much.
Right.
So,
So-
if Mary wanted to go paragliding,
Mary doesn't want to go paragliding.
But I bet that same
Yeah.
flashing
Yeah.
unnecessary risk would be going
I think
on.
the same thing would happen if Dexter was like, "I want to go paragliding." I'd be like, "No, unnecessary risk."
is there
Sorry,
anything that you
Case.
can do where your girlfriend would be
Yeah.
like,
Does she feel uncomfortable about that?
if you were like, I want to go in a underwater submersible to the Titanic, did she have any reservations?
Probably. So it was fun. She didn't really have reservations about me paragliding until my mom had a conversation with her. My dad was a paraglider pilot, and my mom lived with that for a long time.
Yeah.
And so she basically talked May into being nervous about it.
That's a crazy thing that's
Great.
happened.
Yeah, which is a bummer.
Thanks, Mama Case.
Yeah.
But your dad
Thanks, Linda.
didn't like ever really get hurt, right?
No, not at all.
No, it's just like the probability of you dying. Is a little
She
higher.
passed
There
her
were-
unnecessary risk onto May.
Yeah, my dad
she
didn't
wanted to
have
share the
anything
load.
happen, but there
Yeah.
was.
Think about that though. Like if Morgan was like, "I would like to drive a big piece of metal down the highway where I'm not enclosed in anything," would you be okay with that? Morgan was like, "I want to drive motorcycles down the highway."
I'd be a little surprised, to be honest.
Were you surprised when I said I wanted to?
Yeah, I was very surprised because Mary's casually interested in cars and she's getting more interested in cars. But like you've had kind of this like deep rooted interest in motorcycles, and it came from a 13-year-old you
You did?
riding a scooter. You said the last time I felt alive was riding a scooter at the age of 13.
That's true. My cousin gave us a hand-me-down, like, I don't know what kind of scooter it was. Whatever starts with M. Motorola. Was that a phone?
No,
That was a
nah,
phone.
it's a phone.
That's a
Motorama?
phone.
What was a scooter company that everyone broke their ankles with? And
Razor.
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 So
No, it wasn't a
Razor.
razor scooter. It was an electric scooter.
Oh.
And like I went 30 miles per hour. And like bear in
Nice.
mind, I had never driven a car before. So that was like the first
That's
time
a
that
lot.
That's
I
moving.
had
That's
experienced like speed where I was the one in control.
That's the last time you felt alive.
That was the last time I felt alive. So
She just wants to relive that.
no, I just think my soul would have a good time.
I think Case is right. I think the type of motors, because if I told Morgan I wanted to ride a motorcycle, she would think of me on a Harley and then would probably laugh about that thought. But like that seems like scary. But if you pitch it as like a little Vespa,
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, for sure.
Even though fundamentally that's no less dangerous.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
riding a bicycle on the shoulder of the
Yeah.
road
More dangerous.
is I don't know actually the statistics of this, but I don't imagine it's that much safer than riding a motorcycle on the road. Sure, the motorcycle goes faster and you could crash it because you're riding too fast. That's pretty easy to avoid. I think most people are concerned about other drivers on the road, and you're to some degree exposed to that as even a pedestrian.
So I think we're all on team Mary riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
just learning.
Well, especially on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tree's
If-
not
if
gonna
you're-
run a
Yeah,
stop
that's the
sign.
thing. I don't really have an interest in like learning how to ride like a big Harley. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to ride a big Harley down the highway or any open road at all.
Yeah, because actually, statistically, highways are safer than back roads because other roads have intersections where cars
Right.
are pulling out.
Right.
Right.
I don't
but-
have an interest in that.
Yeah, dirt biking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just think like the two-wheel going fast is cool.
Yeah, it is
I
cool.
think I would have fun.
Do you like
you
the
would.
idea?
You would love it.
Are you attracted because you think it would make you look cool, or because
No, I like going fast.
okay?
Yeah, you would have fun.
Mary-
you would like it a lot.
Mary rips that little Honda Moto Compacto around.
I
the
do.
office.
She sure does.
I do.
She
I
sure
skidded
does.
the carpet a little.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
My dad, don't listen to this podcast, Roman. So
Can't even see it anymore.
next segment, I think this is gonna be fun. It's called the name game.
Okay.
We are going to go around in a circle, naming cars that are named after cities.
Yeah, this was actually recommended by a viewer who reached out to us, emailed us about this.
I think his
It
name
a
was
good idea.
Luke, or maybe John.
Thank you, Luke John. One of the
Thank you,
Gospels.
John Luke.
That's right.
We're missing Matthew and Mark.
Or maybe it was Matthew.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John.
Oh God.
Oh, maybe it was Luke.
Those are the Gospels
All right.
in the New Testament.
Oh, shoot.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
whoever
you,
you are.
So we're going to go around. If you can't think of when you're out.
Oh, gosh.
Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to let Mary go first.
No, I want to go second.
Okay. I'm going to start with the Kia Telluride.
Tucson.
Palisade.
Santa Cruz.
The Sonoma, GMC Sonoma.
Oh, no. Did you say Santa Fe? Oh,
Oh no, well, no,
you said Santa Fe.
no. I
Santa
said
Fe.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Fe.
Yeah, you're in. You're good.
You're good.
Tahoe.
Chevy Colorado.
Okay, good. The Dodge Monaco.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Tundra.
Okay, Mary. Cole, what is that?
It's a biome.
It's a biome.
It's a place, though. You can
The
go.
Chrysler Aspen.
Okay, we have to say she's out.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
she's
come
out.
on.
Okay, keep thinking. Keep thinking.
Wait, it's my birthday.
Wait, it's my birthday. Think same lines as Tundra.
Okay.
Same manufacturer, but a little smaller.
Can I have a letter?
T.
Also
Still
a
a T?
Yeah.
Toyota.
a truck.
Tacoma.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, Aspen.
The Aspen.
Dodge Durango, where I just was. I was in Durango yesterday.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, okay, I'm running low now.
Yeah.
The Monte Carlo.
Ooh.
That's a car? It's not just a race in Monte Carlo?
No, it's
No,
a car.
that is a car.
What?
It's one of Case's dream cars.
It's
Yeah.
not.
The last Monte Carlo, the one that looks all swoopy.
Huh. There's probably somewhere called the Willis.
Okay, are you passing, Mary?
Yeah, I'll pass.
I can't think of another one.
You said Chrysler Aspen, right? Wasn't there also a Dodge Aspen?
Oh my God, no!
Oh, no, that's cheating.
It's a
Doesn't
different car.
No, that
Come
doesn't
on.
count. Okay,
Come
Jen, are you tapping
I'm
out?
tapping out.
You seriously not gonna take
No,
that?
absolutely not. It's
That's
still
so
Aspen.
whack, dude.
That's so wacky.
So
Even
whack.
the same parent company.
Unacceptable.
What is the word?
They're two different cars.
Corrupt.
Corrupt.
Thank you. I agree.
I don't have anything either, actually.
What about Denali?
Oh,
That's
Case
a good
wins.
one.
Denali.
Yeah,
Denali,
yeah,
that's a
I'll
mountain.
give you that.
Nice.
Shoot,
Yeah.
Case won.
Nice
Wow.
case.
Is Acadia a place as well?
Acadia.
I always call it the cicadia.
Nice.
Oh, Case has got one. Kia Rio. Rio de
Oh,
Janeiro.
the Rio.
Cooper.
That's not a
That's
place.
a person.
Named after a guy.
Okay.
Cooperville.
Next game. Name a car named after a parking ticket.
What? Come on.
Chevy citation.
That's it. Case wins.
That's the only one. That is an unfortunate
Yeah, that's
name.
a crazy one that made it out the
Yeah.
door.
Wow.
There's a
Name
plane
with
called a
that.
citation too.
Yeah. Maybe it's like is it one of the books of God?
No.
Like
I-
Luke
What?
and Mark and John?
One of the
And
Gospels, you
citation?
mean? A citation?
One book of God.
The book of God.
The.
Well, there's a few. There's the Torah and
true.
the Bible.
Quran.
Oh
and
yeah,
the
true.
Quran.
The citation's a crazy name for a car.
It is. It's an unfortunate name. Oh, I don't know. There's a couple unfortunate names. Like I think, did we talk about it in this podcast? The Comanche Eliminator.
Yes,
the
that's
Jeep.
Oh,
that's
God.
a
Which is
bad
pretty
name.
That's a bad name.
Even
Yeah,
even
that's
for
bad.
the 80s, they should have.
Even the Jeep Comanche Pioneer.
Should have. Oh God.
There were some ones
There's a
that
lot going on there.
There's the Cherokee
Yikes.
Chief.
Yes. Yeah, Jeep.
Which is
Jeep. Yeah, that's a whole
Jeep
can of
missed the
worms.
mark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Comanche Eliminators.
Didn't get the memo on
Okay,
that.
I have one. What about name something that is alliteration? Like the
Like the
like
Ford
the Toyota
Fiesta.
Yeah, or the Ford Focus. Mm-hmm. Your turn.
Whole line of Fords in there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The Expedition.
no.
What
Do you know what
about
alliteration is?
Ford F450?
Nice. There's a 450. Oh wait,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
six.
Huh?
That's a lot of F's.
It is a lot of.
Ford
That's a real. That's you did a
F450.
good job.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
The Ford Fusion,
Oh, the Fusion.
Ford Flex,
I'm sure there's
The
companies
Flex.
other
The
than Ford.
Ford has
Yeah,
so
I think we
many.
got a. I mean, a Toyota Tundra.
Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that the Ford thing though. They had the F for the cars, the E for SUVs. That really fits in some nice boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Expedition, Escape,
Explorer.
and then the Bronco ruins it all.
And then the Bronco.
They did ruin it.
Okay, final segment of the day grinds my gears, and I will go first.
Okay.
What about trivia?
Oh my god! Right. Okay.
It's gonna be the longest podcast ever.
3 hours later, trivia today is brought to you by
None other than
Hertz Rental Car.
no.
No.
No, it's brought by our friend Scott O'Sullivan with O'Sullivan Law. Now, Scott runs O'Sullivan Law. He also runs Rider Justice. And
Yeah.
if you're involved in a vehicle-related incident, what should you do, Case?
You should call Scott first. He's also a car enthusiast, like 3 of the 4 of us here.
3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
3 yep, right on.
What's your favorite motorcycle?
I have a favorite motorcycle.
Yeah, what is it? You're
no,
a big
I know
bike
what
guy.
it is. Probably the Triumph. Remember we did the video? We were looking at bikes. You
Those
guys
are
like
my
the Triumph.
favorites.
I did like the Triumph.
The
Yeah.
Triumph is my
So-
She likes Triumphs.
If there's an incident on the Triumph, what you do is you call Scott. Tell Dexter about this.
Okay, we have a lawyer. It's okay.
Scott might not he may not be able to realive you, but in an incident, he is the guy that can definitely
Yeah,
help.
I don't think the legal representation was Dexter's concern.
Yeah, I think there's another one.
But
It's
if
like,
it was, we've got Scott and the
Dexter's
team.
like, Mary, do you have a lawyer? We need a lawyer. Yeah, Scott and the team,
Yeah.
Scott O'Sullivan.
That might have been our only good ad read we've ever done for them on this show.
That's right. Scott has had a lot of
Most
really-
of
he
our
still
ad
sticks
reads are
with
so
us.
bad. He does.
Yeah. We
love you, Scott.
Yeah, Scott's awesome.
It's like
Yes.
he'll stick with you.
I like when Scott comments. That's good. Dang it.
cute.
Should have thought of that. Scott, that was for free, that one that Mary come up with.
Yeah, should have said it closer to the mic.
Yeah. Well, I have a loud voice.
Project.
Yeah.
She does.
So Scott comments sometimes in the videos, which I like because I read his comments. Also, you should comment in the videos. Also, this is my big thing, okay? I'm really excited about this podcast. And if you like it, you should give it a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give it 5 stars. If you think about giving it 4 stars, don't rate it.
No,
Just
you
don't.
give us 4 stars. I like a good 4-star.
No!
Come on.
It's a little too honest.
Yeah, we have a 5-star rating right now on Apple Podcasts. You
Okay,
want it to
keep
be
it going.
4.9?
I feel like if I look at something that has only 5-star reviews, I don't trust that.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, don't rate us less than 5.
Don't listen to Mary.
Give us
kidding.
a good 2-star review.
Don't
us-
listen to Mary.
Give us an objectively bad rating. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
Mary
yeah,
wants. But you can also leave comments on Spotify. And my favorite thing now is when I see we have a comment on Spotify, and it's so funny because it'll be like wind.
What to comment at
Yeah,
the end,
what to
At the
comment.
end of it.
That's it.
So leave us a rating. You can leave a 4-star rating. But if it's less than 4, Mary's going to come after you.
Yeah, I would prefer not less than 4. Anyway, thank you, Scott. We're going to start our trivia segment now.
Let's do it.
Sponsored by Scott O'Sullivan.
All right, go for it.
Here we go.
Do you want some paper?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh.
gosh.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Oh, gee.
So we've
Oh,
got
jeez.
we've
Oh,
got
gee.
Chase, we got Jan, and we got Tim.
Timmy. Tim. Oh, you shortened
Tim.
it.
Growing up.
Shows.
Growing up.
Can I have that pen?
Yes.
Thanks.
It's fun when people get mad at Tommy for calling Jen Jan.
Because nobody understands what that means.
They're like,
it's a
Tommy's such a
nickname.
bad friend.
It's a nickname.
Doesn't even know her name.
Can you imagine if after 8 months of working here, we didn't know her name?
I just never corrected anyone.
You're like,
see
it's
that
fine.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's actually
cool.
Jennifer.
It's actually Jennifer.
It's Jennifer, actually. 'Cause they're all
Question
wrong.
number 1. Known for its boxer engines and symmetrical all-wheel drive, what
Subaru.
Nice. Well done.
I know
Chase.
that because I take very good care of Subarus.
Case destroyed one fantastically.
The symmetrical all-wheel drive didn't help
No.
with the 3 feet of water I went through at 40 miles an hour.
All right. If you want to see what
Shucks.
he's talking about, go check out No Pain No Gain. on
And get
TFL
real mad that
Off-Road.
we broke that car.
Yes.
Like
All right.
everyone did.
What automaker's badge features a stylized hammer and a chisel crossing behind a winged triangle?
What the hell? Wait, say that again.
All right. Okay, ready? Draw this in your mind.
Is this like Lada? Is this? It sounds Soviet.
Try to draw
you
it
know?
out.
Okay.
What automaker's badge features a stylized hammer and chisel crossing behind a winged triangle?
Hammer and
A
sickle.
winged triangle.
Chisel.
Okay.
Hammer and sickle.
A hammer
Sounds
and
very
sickle.
Russian.
Yeah,
A
right?
chisel is different than a sickle.
Okay, and then you got wings on the back.
Behind a winged triangle.
Is that what that looks like? That looks like a Viking helmet.
See that?
The Vikings.
I think it is the Soviet company UAZ.
The answer is Mazda.
What the heck? What?
Cole, can you look up the Mazda
Are you
logo?
talking? Oh,
No.
like the old rotary logo, like their old Dorito logo.
UAZ. I sure saw UAZ.
Oh, no.
Where?
Mary.
In my defense, sometimes Cole and I use ChatGPT.
So that's minus 1 point for Mary.
Guys,
What?
this is a crazy situation.
I am red in the face.
Oh, gee.
The current Mazda logo, a stylized V-shaped enclosed with an oval resembling outstretched wings. The hammer and chisel, I'm not sure where that came from. Look up the logo for UAZ, Cole.
I think we should make this a logo.
I wonder if they went as far as to make a logo.
That's what I was thinking. It's closer than
good.
Mazda.
Okay, so we're going to add my name on the bottom. We're going to put minus 1.
Mary, minus one.
Okay. All right. First appearing in 1957, what Italian city car known for its friendly face and compact
Fiat
size?
500.
Nice.
The Cinquecento.
You don't get any bonus points for that.
Just like you didn't get Dodge Aspen. Chrysler Aspen.
They're two different cars.
Okay. With just 39 examples produced between 1962 and 64, what Ferrari model bearing a 3-digit name ending in GTO is considered the most
250.
valuable car ever sold?
Although I think there was a Mercedes that sold for more than any of the 250 GTO.
I don't know,
GTs.
maybe. What are
Cole's
you?
trying to. Oh my God! Wait, that's not good news.
Oh, look, there's a Mazda race car with a hammer.
The Soviet logo on the side of that Mazda RX-7 race car.
Is that a Miata?
Oh,
But that
it's
is a
Miata.
sickle, so.
Anyway,
It's not a sickle; it's a chisel.
But that is
That's
a
a
sickle.
sickle.
Yeah, but right chisel.
this is going to be great for all the
This
people
is going to be
listening.
the intro to the podcast. It's Mary going, right chisel.
All right. Introduced in 1989 as a spiritual successor to classic British roadsters.
Miata.
What? Nice. Which one?
MX-5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should I even bother finishing the question?
No, if we get it sooner.
Okay.
But if we get it wrong, you can't answer if you know the question.
Okay, here we go.
I
Before
didn't follow
driving
that.
the DeLorean in Back to the Future, what actor appeared in Family Ties and voiced Stuart Little decades later?
It's, God, guys, it's the,
Michael J. Fox?
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
Cool.
Well done.
It took me a second to.
Dude.
Yeah.
what was the car in contention to be the Back to the Future
Well, didn't
DeLorean?
Mustang? Yeah,
Yes,
Mustang
really?
wanted to.
And
they-
then I think it was like Spielberg was like, we're not putting a Mustang in this movie.
yeah, which is awesome.
Wow.
Good man.
Case is winning. Jan, you're not
I
doing
got,
so
I
hot.
got no, y'all are,
Jan.
y'all are going nuts.
You came close with
Do I
the
get
hammer
bonus
and
points
chisel
for the
one.
Mustang? The
No,
Mustang thing is.
I'm not giving you bonus
that
points.
was
All
pretty- right?
What generation of Corvette debuted in 1963?
C2.
C2.
That That was Timmy.
Split window.
63.
Split window.
All right, founded in 1929 and later acquired by Ferrari, what Italian manufacturer uses a raging bull as its logo?
Oh, Lamborghini.
All right, Jan's on the board.
Acquired by Ferrari.
I don't really trust the ChatGPT.
don't trust
Yeah,
it
all these
anymore.
are horrible, Mary. They were
Yeah.
never acquired by Ferrari.
No, but
and
all I heard
Acquired
was
by Ferrari.
bull.
Yeah.
I also don't think they were founded in 29.
All right.
I think they came around and
I
like,
guess this means I
well,
can't
when did
use
they start making
ChatGPT
tractors?
for trivia anymore.
oh, maybe.
Yeah.
When
Certainly
was-
not as a car company.
Yeah, but maybe tractors. That's a good point. Lamborghini was founded in 1963 for cars.
63?
Yeah.
Dang, this is way off.
Sorry. I just launched spit across the room. That was bad.
When was Ferrari founded?
Not actually that old. I think Ferrari was.
2010?
Yeah. They launched with a car called the California. I think it was like 1938, 39.
1939,
So what was
yeah.
this
Oh, no.
basing it off of?
Oh, 47?
Yeah, but they started making
Wikipedia-
their road cars, I think, in like the late
Oh.
40s.
Cool.
Ferrari. Yikes.
Is that Lucifer?
Looks
Yep.
like him. All right. Well, I apologize, guys.
Wow.
This was not.
Is that all
Sorry.
you got? You got six
No,
terrible
I
questions?
have more, but now I'm like doubting whether I should ask them or not.
Okay, believe it or not, I do have some.
I have a good one though.
Okay, go for it.
What U.S. state's license plates once featured the slogan "First in Flight"?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
God, Case is winning the
Shoot.
bad
That kid's
trivia.
just killing it.
That's because I'm
Just
from
keep
Bad
going with
trivia.
them. If they sound way off, we'll correct you.
What car company introduced Blue Motion line into the 2000s?
Volkswagen?
Nice case.
Oh my God!
Dang.
Wow.
What brand was once owned by Ford and is known for innovations in car safety?
Volvo.
That's Tommy.
Oh.
What Toyota truck first arrived? Okay, Toyota truck-based SUV first arrived in the U.S. in 1984.
Forerunner.
Foreigner.
Okay.
Shoot.
And it was solid axle until 86.
In the
right?
Pixar film Cars.
Okay, this is us, Jen.
What actor and comedian
Owen
voiced
Wilson.
the tow truck?
Oh,
Oh,
Larry the Cable
Larry
Guy.
the Cable.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm
God.
slow today. It is Larry's toe mater.
Tomater.
All right. What car maker was revived in the late 20th century, known for creating the fastest production cars in history?
Bugatti.
Nice, Tommy.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Amazing.
Okay. Known for the aluminum bodies, what brand won multiple World Rally Championships with its Group B monsters in the early
Audi.
80s? Nice, Tommy.
Audi.
Catching up, Case.
As some people, yeah.
Don't say Audi.
I don't want to.
Do not say Audi.
Though they share a name, what performance-oriented Toyota sedan sold in Japan has no relation to the famous movie Monster?
Say that again?
Huh.
Though they
GTR?
share a name, what performance-oriented Toyota sedan sold in Japan has no relation to the famous
Toyota.
movie Monster?
Toyota.
What is it?
Mark X.
Oh, does that have to do with Godzilla?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
All right.
All right. Well, Case won trivia.
Wow.
Woo.
And next week
First
we
time
will have
trying.
better trivia.
Yeah, I'm
we
sorry.
We'll have more time to plan for
I think
trivia.
it was great
Mary
trivia.
wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, Case really liked trivia this week.
Yeah,
First time Case has
dang.
ever
Yeah,
won
it was the
trivia.
first time for everything.
I won one time when I think you were out of town, maybe.
That doesn't sound
Maybe.
right.
Yeah.
She
there-
might be
there was
right,
one other
actually.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
One
So Case
other
had
time.
7, Jen had 1,
One.
Timmy had 6, and Mary had -1 for bad trivia. Yes.
Sorry, Scott.
Sorry, Scott, but we will have better trivia for you next week, Scott. And now for our final quick segment, I got a good grind my gears this year. This week.
This year.
What appliance
year.
don't you like this
No,
week?
it's not about appliances.
It's got to be about appliances.
It must be.
It must.
Grind My Gear is about public bathrooms. And more specifically,
Using them?
no, the little cleaning signs that they put up. Have you ever seen those, like the wet floors?
Yeah, like the little
When
yellow
they
ones.
when they put them in the doorway,
Yeah,
does that mean you're not supposed to go in?
Yeah.
Why?
because the floors
Because
are
they're
wet.
cleaning it.
But
Well, you gotta go, you gotta go.
yeah, my question is like, sometimes they have signs that say like cleaning in progress, do not enter. If they just put the little slippery when wet sign in there, is that just saying be careful, or is that saying don't come in? I need more clarity.
Well, okay, so there are times where I see like their cleaning cart blocking the whole door. I think that means like don't come in.
It's like when you're on a
Closed.
plane. Have you noticed this when you're on a plane and they put the beverage cart in front of like the cockpit when the pilot goes? That's so you don't go into the cockpit.
Oh. I thought you weren't supposed to go in the cockpit at all,
You're supposed to be in there.
Otherwise,
anyway.
you can head on
Pretty
in.
sure you don't go in there.
Are you worried if you walk into the bathroom when they don't want you in there, you're gonna get like slide tackled?
Yeah, that's a
Get
good
out of
question.
here.
What are the consequences
Yeah.
if you go in?
Slapped with cuffs.
Get out of here.
I just don't know.
Got a runner.
I just don't know the protocol there. Those wet signs in general, I don't like them
For why?
because they cover exactly the size of like a square foot, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you don't know how big the wet spot is.
Well, be cautious.
Yeah, it's more of an alert than like a.
Actually, it's for liability. Because if you
Yes,
have one of those
it's for
out, somebody
lawyers.
falls. Yeah.
I would rather have though. How about this as an idea? A little ring of don't slip signs around the affected area. Then you know.
What if the
for
whole
sure.
area is affected and you need to be careful?
You got to
everywhere?
shut down the building. Nobody comes
Just
in,
can't
nobody
be.
goes out.
I just think
Quarantine
Yeah.
for a little bit.
there is
Yeah.
a lack of clarity that comes with those do not slip signs, and they are used far too liberally.
Of all the things to dislike about the public restroom experience,
Yeah, that's a weird
I
choice.
wasn't expecting
It's a
that's
weird
like the
sign.
least bad one.
Yeah, I
What
wasn't
ab-
expecting the signs.
What about the stalls where there's like a gap this big in the door and you can just make eye contact with people?
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not
Or like
great.
the fact that they're not real doors. Like
Yeah.
they don't even go to the
Oh
floor.
yeah, like
Yeah.
those.
One of the doors where the latch
Oh,
is broken, so you're
100%.
just holding it the whole time.
Real talk though, this gives me a good idea.
Oh,
This
no.
is a good idea. This is a really good idea.
It's not gonna be a good idea.
So what if I start carrying around one of those no slip signs with me?
Sure.
And then if you guys respect it so much entering bathrooms, when I'm in there, I just put it in front of the door. Complete privacy. No one's gonna come in.
But then you have to carry around one of those.
If somebody sees you walking in with it.
Mildly inconvenient.
I just think
That's his carry-on.
Mary already has all of the Twilight series and a set of throwing knives in her car.
Yeah.
Why not just keep one of those bad boys in there, pull it out, boop.
In my car, that would be no problem. Light sweat, no reaction. It'd be easy.
So I have just turned a nuisance into a potential business plan. That right there is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, I'm with you.
What's grinding your gears these days, Mary?
Four-way stops.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No one knows how.
No one knows.
No one pays
because-
attention to when they got there.
I actually think I've said this before. I think it was
have.
like the first episode of Carish. I was like, I don't like it when somebody just like waves you on when they were clearly there first.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what you're doing is not helpful.
Yeah, exactly. You think you're being like a good Samaritan, but really you're
Yeah.
just pissing me
Follow
off.
the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when in driver's ed we learned, do you remember this? Always yield to the person to your right.
To right. Yeah.
My question is though, and I genuinely understand this, but I do need some help. Because a four-way stop, you've got four people, right? They're all stopped at the same time. If you keep yielding to the person you're right, isn't that just an infinite loop?
Yeah, but
That's kind of how roundabouts
Everyone's
work.
yielding
Puts
to
everyone
everyone.
left.
But that means everybody stopped at the same time.
Okay, so we all stop
So
at the same time.
tie goes to the right.
So all right, we all stop. So everyone's
Oh, wait. We all
ready?
pull up to the
We all
top.
Okay,
pull up
so
at
we
the
all
same
pull
time.
up.
Ready?
I'm gonna keep rolling through.
Okay, so Kate
Case
stops.
doesn't even stop.
So then
So-
everyone gets out and does rock, paper, scissors.
No, so I
no,
yield.
please, you go. No. Please, you go.
I yield to Mary. Okay, to my right.
I yield to Jan.
Jen yields to Case. Case yields to me.
I was already.
I'm going to go
Nobody
right back to
goes.
Mary.
Yeah, nobody goes.
Well, how does that work?
It's a
Too
standoff.
nice. I think at that point you just kind of you got to roll up your sleeves and you got to inch.
No, but then okay, then we all start inching closer.
What the hell?
Oh my! Goes in my microphone.
You know what I do at four-way stops if I can see that I'm about to like get to the stop sign at the same time.
backing up.
No. So Tommy, if you and I are approaching the people at the same time. Okay, so Tom, we're cars. Okay, so we're going. And I just start going slower, so it's very obvious you got there first.
That's diabolical.
Yes.
Do you
Wow.
really?
Yeah, because I don't
So
like.
Mary's like, she's like,
No, I don't back up, but I definitely go slower so that it's very clear that we did not get there at the same time.
That's gonna be good for the audio.
what do you do, Case?
You just gotta gauge it depending on the person. Someone you can tell they're like, I gotta go. I'm going first. You got it, buddy. And then other people are just gonna sit there, check an email, look at themselves in the mirror for a little while before they go. I'm going.
That's true.
So
You gotta
just
look at
gauge
the
it.
person.
I think you
Yeah.
gauge it if you're getting there at around the same time.
A point. Go.
That's
really
diabolical.
Go.
So
You don't even
You don't
wave
even
on.
wave.
You
You
just
Go. Let's go.
point
I feel like if
accusation
you
finger.
pointed at me, I'd be like, what
Oh,
do I do?
shit.
I would reverse.
Panic.
the snap is diabolical. You.
You know what I do when someone does like a really bad driving move? I just do a thumbs down.
Oh,
It's like the equivalent of disappointment. Not,
That's
not mad,
awful.
I'm just disappointed.
Thumbs down is pretty crushing.
Yeah.
If it's rare, I don't get into a lot of altercations on the road. I drive pretty calm. But if someone's, trying to look at me through the
Seizing.
window, I'll give them a little one
little
of these.
boo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't cry about
Oh.
it. You know
Yeah.
something? I get pretty rageful. Not on the road.
A lot of rats.
Just in general.
Just in general,
Yeah.
I'm like a pretty rageful person. No, like so you know how pedestrians have the right of way.
Yeah.
This
They
is
say.
another
they
grind my
shouldn't.
gears. Is that like I get like really upset. It's kind of like you get physically ill when you're going behind someone slow.
32 miles
when
an
like
hour.
a pedestrian's crossing the road, like even if they're like going relatively fast, if they don't give me like a little
Some sort of
just
acknowledgement.
yeah, just a little like thanks. Like, thanks for not crushing
I'll
me
start
with your
revving my
2-ton
engine.
vehicle. Yeah, just like scare them.
so you get upset when they don't thank you.
Yeah. So, but the rage
just
is
acknowledge.
immediately diffused if like the person's just like, thanks. And then I'm like, yeah, you're welcome.
Or even just a look.
Yeah, exactly.
Just some sort of eye contact of like, hey, I did my part of checking to see that no cars were coming.
That's
Yeah.
like, guys, that's
But it's
the
also- it's
bare
also-
minimum. Like, as a
It's
But it doesn't happen.
it doesn't happen.
okay, so if you leave a grocery store and you don't steal anything, do you expect like a little wave from the?
they're like,
No,
thanks for not.
Thanks for not-
it's very car specific on like at crosswalks. Like there's a crosswalk here in Boulder. If like you walk to this like the coffee shop down that way, there's like there's two crosswalks you have to cross, and the cars are coming from all sides. So if like all of them stop, and if you just give everyone thanks,
But Mary,
you're good.
You want to be thanked for following the law.
Yeah.
So like, if you pass a cop doing the right speed limit, you want to be like, get a little like,
Yeah, I
this
would
is
like,
like
acknowledgement for all the right things that I do.
When you're rolling through at Target and you see a mom with her 3 kids or whatever, and none of them are looking up and they just cross.
Yeah.
That drives me
Yeah, me too.
wild.
Why?
Because now you're teaching your kids you don't have to look before you cross the street. Don't you learn that when you're a child?
You should
look
be
both
looking.
ways before you cross the street.
So you think it should be look both ways and thank you?
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
no,
just
I
an
don't even-
acknowledgement of okay. It doesn't have to be a thank
I,
you.
no, I think you just
A
need to make eye
card.
contact.
I think it's funny though. I think pedestrians in Colorado get especially wild because back home in Georgia, people are crazy
the expected-
in a different way maybe.
Yeah.
Waffle House.
And if you're in Atlanta, you walk up to a crosswalk, don't expect the car to stop.
Really?
Like you could be standing at the edge of the crosswalk. You're probably going to wait for that car to go through before you go. Here in Boulder, no crosswalk whatsoever. People will just jet right out in front
Yeah,
of a
that
car
is
going
true.
30 miles an hour. That's 10 feet away from them.
Drives
Mary's
me
good
nuts.
at that as long as they give a little.
No, that's not. I said at crosswalks.
People get wild. I'll tell you what does bum me out at crosswalks when there's no hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's just
See,
kind
but
of
the lack of a hustle-
Sauntering.
shuffling along. Maybe they stop and look back, see where their friend's at,
Yeah.
and kind of turn around and
It's just like a
continue on
lack.
their way.
It's a lack
Come
of
on,
like
guy.
paying attention.
But what about no hustle plus a wave? Are you
That's
good?
fine. If you're acknowledging
good with
that,
that.
if you're acknowledging that you're going slow, like if you're, I understand that could be frustrating if they're slowing down your day, but at least they know that and they tell you thank you anyway. Like
Yeah.
I know that I'm going
For
kind of
sure.
slow, but you're
Just
there.
an
We're just
acknowledgement.
human to human. We're here together.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like that's just how
I
life
still
is.
try to hustle across.
Yeah,
even
you
though
you gotta
I'm
hustle.
getting,
It doesn't
have to.
even though I'm getting bigger,
I
I,
always
still
try
try
to
to.
hustle.
Give
But
a
it
little
also
hustle.
like the hustle is all it's just performative. You're not going any faster by
you might
doing
be.
this.
But
speed
it's
walk
just
a little
it is
bit,
it is
yeah.
weird how it is all performative.
Yeah,
because
it's
I
all
don't actually hustle. I just kind of jump up a little bit taller.
Let me be very clear.
I take
If I
big
saw a
strides.
pregnant woman crossing the street and she's going kind of slow, I'm not going to be like beep.
Well, yeah,
Go
same
faster.
same thing if it's a 180-year-old lady crossing the street. I'm not going to be like, "Come on, where's the stride? Move quicker, lady." To just lay on the horn.
Come on, where's the stride? It's awesome.
Yeah. But no, myself, if a car is coming up and they're slowing down for me in the crosswalk, I'll take big steps. I'll get out of the way.
There's
quicker.
something deeply
Yeah.
upsetting about Mary not walking faster, but making it look like she's walking. She'll put the effort to pretend to walk faster, but not to actually move any quicker.
You can actually speed walk, just whoop.
No, like I'll
There
run
you
across
go.
the street
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like
a
I'll
little jaunt.
genuinely-
A jaunt.
Yeah.
Will you wave and run? I think, look, it's a one or.
Just
here's
like
where
as
I'm
I'm
at.
moving.
If I'm moving slow, I'll give a wave. If I'm moving fast, no wave.
See, I'm doing one of these, when I
Jen full on bow.
That would be
you, sir.
annoying. Just stop in the middle of the road.
You go to their
little
their
courtesy.
window and like kiss their hand and then keep going.
You know what we should bring back? Stickers. Like you do something right, you like
You
walk
get a
up,
sticker.
put a sticker on
like
the
in
windshield.
my violin class.
Yeah, you stopped, you get a sticker.
Yeah. Well, that's not.
That's a great. Jen, what's been grinding your gears?
Okay, so this is probably going to be a little more specific to me, but I'm gonna speak out for all of the other pregnant women out there.
Okay, let's hear it.
All of the pregnant women listening to our 98% male-oriented podcast.
Okay, so
They might have
what,
lives.
What pregnant women don't want to hear is, "Wow, you sure there aren't twins in there?
Oh my god!
Wow, are you sure you're not farther along than 6 months?"
Like, thanks so much.
Someone said that to me yesterday, and they said both of them back to back, and I wanted to be like, why do you say that?
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah, like,
I want you to say it
Yeah.
now.
What are
Like,
your comments aimed at achieving?
Yeah, is
Right.
it because
Here.
I'm giant?
Yeah,
Is
is
that
that what you're
why
trying to say?
why you're saying that?
That also just fills you with anxiety.
Yeah,
You're like, gee, I
you know
think
what
so.
you know what pregnant women want to hear is, "Wow, you can't even tell you're pregnant from the back," or "You're all belly."
I've said
That's
that
what
to
they
her,
want
by
to
the
hear.
way.
Yeah, that's what they want to hear. Not, "Are you sure there's not twins in there?" Like, are you crazy? Do not say that to a
Tell
pregnant
the audience
woman.
what our little intern Gavin said to you when you told him. you
Oh
were
my
pregnant.
God! So when I first told
Gavin listens to this, so be careful.
When I first
Gavin
told
knows the
Gavin,
story.
he looked like a deer in the headlights, as if this was him having a baby when I first told him. And then later on, he just goes, "So, are you like really scared?" Like,
Crazy
Gavin,
thing to ask a pregnant
don't
woman.
say that. That's wild.
I have a good one to say to pregnant women.
Yeah.
You're glowing.
You're glowing.
You want to
Nice.
be? You want to hear your
Perfect.
all tummy? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's all baby.
Oh.
It's all baby in there. Not like, 12 pounds of fat on the side of it, but it's just like, oh, you're just all baby.
So you wouldn't want to hear like there's some cushion on that baby.
No, you don't want to
Nightmare.
hear that.
Nightmare.
You don't want to hear
sure
like,
there's not,
you look like a linebacker.
Yeah. You sure there's not 8 babies in there from
feel
how
like-
you look?
Kind of a
Jen,
crazy
I
thing
feel
to
like
say.
you are looking
Wild.
really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're glowing.
See, this is what I want to hear.
Look
yeah.
at you.
Good
You learn
job,
quick.
Tommy.
I
Nailed
learned
it.
quick.
A good
Nailed
listener.
it.
You kind of passive aggressive though. You look good from the back, don't you think?
No, it's saying like
No,
if you can't see the belly
you,
from
you
the back.
can't even tell that you're pregnant from the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Your ass is still holding
The
up.
front, terrible. But the back, you look okay.
Face away from everyone.
That's how I envisioned it.
Tommy's like, that's great advice. Next pregnant woman, you say like your ass looks amazing.
Like you're
Just don't turn around.
You still look good from the back.
So yeah,
plan.
that was.
No, that's a good one.
Someone said, "Are you sure there's not twins in there?"
She said both of those things to me yesterday.
Oh,
on
stranger?
my
A
property.
woman?
On my property.
A stranger?
Well,
On your property?
She
How was she there?
She knew.
You had
She
recourse.
knew
Yeah.
our neighbors, and they stopped by, and she said both of those things, and I was just like,
Did you tell her she was trespassing?
I should have.
that's a great.
I should have been like, wow, are you sure you're not 95 years
Yeah.
old and not 60 or whatever?
Step
you were?
back or I will open fire.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was like, you are saying the wrong things right now.
Was she an older woman?
She was like in her 60s.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the generation where they just don't know the line. They'll just say anything.
What's
So
my
like
line?
line.
Why?
They don't know the
Wild.
line. Yeah, they don't know what to say.
So yeah,
I'm sorry that
that's
happened.
dumb.
Yeah,
grinding my gears.
that's a pretty good one.
You still look good from the back.
I can only look at the back of you.
I'm just gonna start walking around backwards everywhere now.
Yeah.
With a tarp in front of me.
What's been grinding your gears?
I'm going to bring us all the way back to the beginning of this podcast where I was accused of, as if I'm really into
Love Island.
Love Island and such things. Especially the Kardashian thing, that's my girlfriend's thing.
I was
That's not
gonna
my
have
thing.
Cole cut that part out, but now that we're here,
Yeah.
it has
Oh,
to stay
no.
in
yes.
there.
You
Fine.
ain't cut that out? How dare you? Well, anyway, if it is cut out, earlier we talked about reality shows. And the thing that is bugging me is how incredibly
Dumb.
overconfident, over like self-affirming everyone is on these shows where no one can take responsibility for anything.
Oh, okay.
On these shows.
worst.
Everybody on
I was about
worst.
to be like, have you met yourself, Case?
When I do it, it's cool. But no. I also do it ironically.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, when people on these shows are very dead serious and they say something along the lines of, last night I handled things really well. What I did was really awesome. And now you're not living up to the standard that I require.
It sounds
It's
like
wow.
what you dislike is a lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. Why can't people get
They're all-
self-reflective
they're
a little
all
bit
main
and
character
think,
energy.
maybe I make mistakes too.
Interesting.
There's none of that.
Interesting
me.
thing though is that I'd argue in this instance it is better because there's video proof that they're not that.
Also,
True.
I think it's better for the producers. The producers love
Yeah.
it when they like say something that clearly contradicts something that they did.
Oh,
the-
yeah, that's gold.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is lacking. It's maybe an epidemic.
It makes for good TV.
It makes for frustrating TV.
I
But
think
you're
it's-
watching it.
But you wouldn't watch it if it was
Begrudgingly.
if they were like if they admitted fault and then had like an honest conversation. You wouldn't watch it.
You would
No,
watch
that's
it if
not-
it
No,
happened
I-
like once in a blue moon.
I
then
would-
it's like refreshing and nice.
I would watch it and think, wow, there's one smart person on this show. That's amazing.
So you need one self-reflective person on the show.
Several wouldn't upset me.
It's like
I genuinely get so irritated when these people are just constantly like, God, did you notice how every time anything happens, I'm always right and everyone around me
Well, here's
is
the thing,
ruining my
Case.
life?
The people on that show are generally like pretty conventionally attractive, right? Like work done or not.
More or less.
They're attractive people. And most of them have gotten through their whole lives like on that merit alone.
True.
They've never had to be self-aware. They've
Yeah.
never had to kind of admit fault.
That's very true.
So that's how they get through life. And
Plus-
now they're on a TV show with everybody else who's also gotten through life that way, and they don't know what to do.
This might be a pot kettle comment, but they're also social media people. So their whole business is themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough to watch.
Well, and also on social media, they get to curate how they're perceived. They don't
Yep.
get to do that when there's an editor.
when someone else is editing,
Yeah.
making them look really dumb. Yeah, which is kind of fun sometimes.
I also like reality TV.
Yeah, me too. I love trashy TV.
Me too.
I like watching a lot of those shows because it makes me feel so much better about myself and
Yeah.
About
my
not being
relationship.
like
And
those
yeah,
people.
exactly.
That-
I'm like, oh, I'm doing pretty good.
That show we're talking about, Too Hot to Handle, where there's like a prize pot though, and then if you do things inappropriate, the prize pot gets smaller. I always feel bad for that one person on the show though that like actually wants the money and needs the money.
Yeah, it's like policing
And then he's
everyone's
like
actions.
policing everybody like,
It's like, please,
Yeah.
this is going to
please
change my
don't
life.
kiss
Yeah,
this girl.
exactly.
I need this money.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, but then you feel really bad for that person.
I've never watched that show, but I just picture somebody who needs a surgery for a beloved family member.
Yeah.
And then surrounding them a bunch of horny people
No.
that just don't care.
Honestly,
Please,
Case,
my mom's gonna die if you grab this person.
usually that person policing everybody else is just as vapid as the rest of them. They're just also
Cool.
greedy.
Except for what's
That's
his
good
name?
because
Yeah.
otherwise it would be a little
I like that one guy.
dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My
Someone's
mom,
gonna die
If
if
you
these
touch her
people
butt, I'm not gonna be able to get this surgery.
I've got 6 months to live.
Oh my god.
That would be an
That would be
interesting
a
show.
viral TV show.
That would be a crazy
no,
premise.
I think that would be super dark.
That would be
Oh, it's
super
coming.
dark.
It's coming.
It'd be really popular. All right, so if people made it this far, what's the word in the podcast?
Oh boy.
Stride. I think you got it.
Cool.
So-
I had to think back for a second why stride made sense.
Stride. Like Strider from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Where's the stride?
Where's the
Where's
stride?
the
Come
stride?
on, lady, where's the stride?
That's
Seriously.
hilarious. I'm going to start saying that.
I
Turn
definitely
on the
need to say
jets.
that from now on.
So if you make it this far, go on your little podcast site like podcast.
.com.
Give us a 2-star review and comment stride.
Head on
As
over to
Mary
Spotify.
requests.
You can leave comments on Spotify now. Give us 2 stars and then comment the word stride. And we'll really blow up this algorithm.
I don't want 2 stars.
All right.
More than 2.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Oh, bye.